So today we are going to be installing the coilovers on my chaser. Basically all you need for this is a 1/2-inch breaker bar, some common hand tools. If you have like an impact wrench like the one I have here, that's great. I'm not going to use this much, maybe only for a few things. Basically, first thing you got to do is you got to get this brake caliper off. 2 bolts here, one there, and one there. Comes off. You can disconnect the brake line if you want. I don't. I just put like a bucket or something under here so it doesn't pull on this line. You don't want that. And then what you do is you pull off brake rotor. The pads and the caliper are separated, so you're gonna pull off this caliper, and then there's gonna be a little thing that holds underneath, and that has the brake pads in it. 2 more bolts. Those are usually a little tighter. It'll come off, and then after that, the brake rotor comes off. You can't unbolt these. I did on here so I can get a little more access on the other side, so I can get to the coilover a little easier. You would need to undo this outer tie rod. Comes undone. Be careful, you can't strip this bolt. I did on the other side because they're older. I'm going to take all this part off camera because I think it'd be very boring for you guys to watch me take apart a car for 3 hours. So one time I'll talk a little bit in between and everything, but overall I'm just gonna take them off and show you as we go. So I'll talk to you once I get this caliper off. So now I got the brake rotor off. Basically now what you gotta do is you're gonna have the shoe here. These bolts may look like they take the caliper off or take this shoe off. They do not. You gotta go back behind here and you gotta find these bolts that sit right here and right here, and I believe those are 3/4 inch. Yeah, 3/4 inch. Yep, that's the size of the bolt. So you get those off, and then the shoe's gonna come off with pads in it. I'm gonna get new pads, and then after that, the brake rotor's gonna slide out, and then you're good. So I'm gonna do that now. And then I'm gonna take all this stuff off, the outer tie rod, all that. The basic of this video is not talking about the actual how to take everything apart. It's just how to replace the coilover. So I'm going to show you guys, once you get a little closer to the coilover, how to take that out, and then we'll go from there. So I'll see you then. So basically I would not remove this outer tie rod if you don't have to. I did get it off, and then I did get the nut off and then bolted it back up because these are really hard. You have to have like a compression set to push these together to get them off easily, and I can guarantee you none of you have those unless you're a really good mechanic or something. So basically, I'm gonna just finagle around that and get behind here and get the coilovers out efficiently. If you really want to get crazy, you could take this whole hub out. That's another thing you need, like a compression set for, to compress up here in the upper control arm down to the lower control arm, because this is compressed together with bushings. So that's not easy, and then you'd have to undo this in link back here somewhere. I can't see it right now, but it's right there. And then what you'd do is this would come off, and then you could have easy access to the coilover. Me, I'm just gonna pull the coilover out in kind of a unique way, get it out. And then so basically how you do it is, I'm gonna show you, but there's a bolt back here. I have to have 2 hands for this, so I can't show you, and I don't have my stand. So you have to have a wrench on. I use my impact on this side, and then I have this breaker bar on this side. Hold it, and that I believe is an 18mm socket. On this side's, this side's an 18. The other side I think is a 18 as well. Should be, at least. I did the other side already, so that's why I know this. And then, but I did it like 2 days ago. So then what you do is you unbolt it. You unbolt the 3 bolts at the top. The other side has a coil, ignition coil attached to it. So you gotta unbolt that, unplug it. And then after that, it just drops down. So then after that, you just pull it out and slide the new one in. I'll show you that. I gotta get this bottom one out first, so then I'll talk to you once that's out. Now, we got the bottom unbolted. It's bolt, where is it? But there's a bolt underneath, you can see it right here. There's a nut on the other side. I took it out. It's kind of hard to take out, really hard to take out actually, because it's right there. So I got that out now. So basically, now there's 3 bolts up here. Some will have a nut here on top that holds it. This is just for compression. You don't need to take that out. That comes out with it. So now what we do is we take it out. And sometimes these are on pretty tight. These are not. And then there's 3 bolts. So then what you do, take 3 of them off, and then it's just gonna drop. So recommended that you have somebody underneath watch, because you don't want them to drop if they're good coilovers you could resell. These are not, so these are just gonna go in the trash can. I would not use an impact on these. I would use a small ratchet like this, because if you do use an impact on these, you might strip the thread on them, or worse. I don't care about stripping the threads because these are old, but I'm just gonna take my time because I think that one's on pretty tight. And you also do need medium strength thread locker if you want to do it properly, and you can torque them to 25 foot-pounds. So now I'm gonna get this off, and you're gonna see as it's gonna fall. So they're basically 3 nuts. I'm just gonna sit them here. And now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go down here, and it's gonna fall. See, they fell right there. And now you're gonna wanna turn the wheel this way, which if you have no tie rod, it'll be way easier, but I'm not taking out the tie rod. So now I'm gonna grab it, and it's gonna fall. It's just gonna fall out. Now, obviously, if you had everything removed, it'd be way easier. But I didn't remove everything because I did that on the other time, and the tie rod broke because the bolt was stripped. So I'm not gonna do that. Here's the old one. I'm gonna go over there and show you the new ones, and then we'll talk about that a little bit. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna explain to you what a shock, or what a coilover is. Basically, is what it seems like. It's a shock absorber with a coil over top of it. So basically my chaser already has coilovers, but if you had a stock one, it would have a shock and a spring. So you pull the shock out just like you pull out the coilover, and then there's a spring behind it. You better block yourself with the car, because if it flies and hits you, you're gonna lose some teeth or die, because it's gonna come with a lot of compression, so be careful. I didn't have to do that because I already had that, but be careful. So basically here's the comparison. The new one versus the old one. Same style and everything, but different. And then basically you adjust these with a special wrench that BC Racing gives you. And then the more spring you have, that's gonna raise your car. So I need my car higher because I can't drive it. It's way too low and it keeps hitting everything. So I need it lower, but it cannot hit the thread. So it has to stay like right there is what I'm thinking. So I'm gonna go install this in the car and then show you how to do it. So I'll talk to you once I'm done there. Now, what we're gonna do is we are gonna put the coilover in. So how it works is it's basically just the nut here. Take the old nut, or the old bolt with the nut right here. You're gonna want to use Loctite. So this is Loctite. It's actually not the brand Loctite, but it's I don't know what this is, but they were out of Loctite. But this seems to be working fine. 1 to 2 medium strength. Basically, it reduces vibrations, so when you're driving down the road, it's supposed to make it so your bolts aren't gonna shake off if you're driving down a dirt road or something. So, like I have to drive every day. So basically, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it, we're gonna slide it in, and you gotta adjust it so it fits appropriately. You can do it on either side. The other side is really hard. So I think I'm gonna slide in on this side, and then you're gonna wanna just hammer it in lightly. I'm not gonna show that because I need a little help. And then you just smack the head of the hammer lightly in until it touches. And then you're gonna put Loctite like right here and spin this. And these should be torqued about 25 foot-pounds. So I'll talk to you once that is done, and I'll show you. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take we're gonna take this Loctite and make sure the cap's up. I don't think Loctite's normally like that if I remember right. And we're just gonna pour it on. And we're gonna put it around the ring until, hang on, I didn't pull that up. So now you're gonna wanna just put it around there. You're gonna see it's gonna go blue. there. And this shit is expensive, so you don't want to, you know, use it all. And now what we can do is we're gonna take it, and this is glue, so you don't want to get this on your hands. It's kind of a glue substance. And now we're gonna take it and we're gonna spin it on, and this is not the easiest on this side. It's really tight to get in there. And it even smells like glue, Loctite. So now it's in, and now I'm gonna tighten it, and I'll show you once I'm done tightening this. Now what we are doing is we are tightening up the top bolts, the bottom bolt. It's better if you use a shallow socket with an extension, kind of like this here. That helps. So now we're gonna tighten these top ones. So basically, I just tighten them hand tight so I don't lose them. And now what you do is set your socket there, grab your Loctite, and you're just gonna want to put it on there, you know, round it, you know, on every single side. So I'm gonna do that on every side. So we're just gonna tighten them all up, and tighten these to 25 foot-pounds as well. Like this. And do not tighten them. And as usual, you never use a torque bar as a ratchet. You use a ratchet first, get it tight, and then use a torque bar. If that's the case, they could come out of calibration, especially if you have like a $500 torque wrench. You don't want to break that. So, you know, it's better off just, you know, go slow. To make sure these bolts do not come off alignment, is you want to just mark them very carefully and align it with the floor here, and then you're going to know if that comes off alignment, see? And then I'm going to do that on all of these here. So you're going to know if that comes off alignment, because these are going to be off. And if it does, you just retighten them, you know? And then after that, what you're going to do is you're going to get your wrench, you're going to adjust them. I'm not doing that today because I got other things to do. It's already 2:12. So next I'm gonna do the rear soon. It'll be in the same video, so for you it'll be in the next 2 seconds. For me it could be a month from now because I have my new tie rods coming. So in that I'll show you next how to, you know, install brake pads and all that. And then after that I'll see you then. So I'll see you in whenever. So I'll see you then. So basically, it's been a few days now. It's been like 2-3 days, and I'm gonna show you how to adjust this. I don't need to adjust this because I want my car to sit higher. But basically, the more thread there is, the higher it is, it pushes the spring up. So this is gonna sit high, maybe too high. We'll have to see. But basically, the more spring you have, the lower your car is gonna sit. So if you want your car to sit all the way down, you're gonna want it to sit like right here, but you don't want to show too much thread. Or you don't want to have no thread. You want to show at least some, because if you don't, that's not safe. It could rattle loose, and then you're gonna have squishy ride height. Basically, as caliper, I put it on there, and it reads 1/10 of an inch, because I already checked it, and that's what it will read from the factory. Is 1/10 of an inch. Tenth of an inch. So basically it's pretty easy. You can get these on Harbor Freight for like $10. I recommend it. And then you use these little wrenches they give you. And then what you do is you undo this bottom cap ring, and then that's gonna come off. You're gonna spin that, and then undo this one, and then you're gonna use this, and this is gonna control how high you are. So that's important. And if you want it to sit really low, you lower it really far down. If you want it to sit high, you put it really high up. This is about as high as I think you can go. You can maybe go a little bit higher. Basically, that's about how high I want it to go. So I'm gonna put it back on wheels. I don't have a tie rod yet, but it's gonna take a while anyway. So a few weeks have passed, and I haven't gotten the rear coilovers on. So I decided I'm gonna put it into a different video because it's totally different. You have a solid drive axle, not a one that turns. You have a trailing arm, all sorts of different things. So basically that's why I'm gonna wait and do that. And there's also been some weird shit with the brakes that I've had to fix, so I wanted to wait until that's fixed. Nothing important to put into videos or anything. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe out there. Stay tuned for the next video. It'll be out pretty soon. So stay safe out there and stay happy. Bye-bye.